Welcome all. I'm Sarah Roeder, Director of Partnership and Member Engagement with Armed Forces Mutual. We are going to be speaking to the president of our organization today, retired Brigadier General Mike Meese, about how to get more out of your VA benefits. Mike, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, happy to be here, Sarah.
Yeah, so we've got a lot to cover. And one of the first questions I have for you is, when looking at your VA disability compensation, what are some things that veterans need to consider about their compensation and the payment being made to them?
Well, it's really an important topic that many people understand, but some don't. So let me just briefly review. When you're in the military service, as you transition out of the service, whether it's after a 4-year enlistment or a 20 or 30-year military career, you go through a medical examination, and they document anything that either your military service caused or exacerbated while you were in the service. And for that, you can get a disability rating ranging from 0% all the way up to 100% that leads to some compensation that you can get paid. When you have that rating, that's tax-free payments from the Department of Veterans Affairs that gets deposited into your account every year. In terms of understanding that, it's important to realize that that VA pay only continues to exist while you're alive, and it goes away when you pass away. And so that's why, at least from our perspective, we encourage people to take advantage of opportunities for life insurance to make sure that their families that may be dependent upon those VA benefits have that even after the service member's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a really great point, right? Sometimes people don't realize that VA disability compensation will go away when the service member has passed away. And so other provisions and protections should be looked at to make sure that your family can still live the life and lifestyle for their lives as well. So that's a really great point to make about that VA disability compensation. Let's talk about some other benefits out there that financially can benefit service members once they have that VA disability compensation.
Well, the first thing that you should consider, as I mentioned about life insurance, is everybody, as you're transitioning out of the military, is eligible for Veterans Group Life Insurance, VGLI. As long as you apply within 240 days of separating from the military, you don't have to go through a medical exam. So especially if, tragically things happen, you get diagnosed with cancer, something like that, VGLI has to accept you in. One of the aspects of that with disability compensation is VGLI is also much, much more expensive than regular insurance if you are in fair health or better. So that's why what we recommend to people as they are looking at VA disability compensation, before they get their final VA rating, get life insurance from either Armed Forces Mutual or somebody else that's a reliable carrier. That way they have it before a VA disability. In that final retirement physical or out processing physical, they may detect things that you don't know about, and you're far, far better off having life insurance before you get that. So that would be the first thing, is make sure that you take care of your life insurance, VGLI or something else that's less expensive and better. The second is anybody with a VA disability, even just 10%, is eligible to get a VA home loan without any VA funding fee. The VA funding fee can range from 2.3% all the way up to 3.5%, depending upon whether you've used your VA funding beforehand. But if you either have a Purple Heart or have a 10% disability or higher, then you don't have any VA funding fee, which can save you over the life of a loan tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and that's That's a really big savings. And some key points that I took away from what you were saying is that if you are going to, and every service member should apply for VA disability, you want to make sure you secure life insurance before you make that application to the Department of Veterans Affairs. Process goes easier for everybody. And so that's a really important point, as well as the savings. 2 to 3% savings on a VA funding fee is really important. I know that Versus Mutual, we have mortgage advisors that specialize in that say, we really understand where you're coming from. So that could be a great resource to reach out.
Our military mortgage advisors at AFMA Mortgage Services, and you can find the 15 states that they serve on our website. They would tell you, in fact, some of them will say, hey, listen, close on this loan or get this house 4 months after you leave. That way you'll have your VA disability rating, and that'll save you a lot of money in the long term if you don't have to move directly from one house to the next after you move out of the military. That's an important thing of working with somebody who understands the military. And right now, at least, VA home loans are less expensive than conventional mortgages, which is another important benefit that you should take advantage of as a veteran.
Yeah, definitely. So we're talking a lot about actual financial savings that come with having a VA disability rating. And so one of those can be educational benefits that can create savings for veterans. So what would those be for our service members?
Well, I think there's some that are added if you have a disability, vocational rehabilitation and training and education benefits. Plus, most service members are eligible for the post 9/11 GI Bill benefits, regardless of whether or not they have a disability. It's also important to realize that there are a lot of programs for veterans with or without disabilities that are extremely useful, such as the Department of Labor's Veterans Education and Training Services, that can help with everything from certifications to being able to get help doing resumes, help preparing for interviews, and those kinds of things, which are certainly available for individuals. And that those programs have expanded to even include the spouses of active duty military and veterans through what's called the MyCAA program for career advancement for military spouses. And that's just from the government perspective. From the state and private side, there are opportunities in a lot of different schools. For example, I work with George Mason University. They've got lots of certification programs where you can get certified in various capacities, as well as the yellow ribbon programs when you're participating in schools that can bring the cost of attending school down so that it's reasonable, so you don't burden yourself with excessive college debt as you go into. I would hope that no veteran, and ideally no veterans' children, would have to leave college with any substantial college debt, which is a huge, important step going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And those are all wonderful examples of, again, just either being a veteran or having that VA disability, and there's added benefits that come along with that you can optimize, and you can create real savings for you and for your spouse or children. And so it's really important to know that there's resources out there that can help guide you through those processes. There's subject matter experts that can help educate you and meet you where you are to find the best solution for you and your family. And so when we even look at a lot of times even, veterans or service members will leave the military and they want to maybe become an entrepreneur. They have an idea, they want to start their own business. There's even some cost savings around having a service-connected disability associated. Can you tell us kind of what those are and the benefits around it?
Exactly. In combination with it's a Department of Labor, small business, and Department of Veterans Affairs program is the Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business Program, where if you have a disability, you can apply for, get certified as a Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business that can give you both the distinction of doing that, as well as additional benefits for government contracts. And that can be very important as the government is looking for people to be able to fulfill those contracts. That can be very helpful. Similarly, if you go to work for the government, be sure to identify yourself as a veteran, and you can get veterans preference in applying for many government jobs. That's also extremely useful as people are entering the workforce.
Yeah. Well, I know myself as a military spouse, my husband is retired from the military, and lots of his fellow veterans do contracting work still with the military, and having that service disabled veteran owned business really does give them a leg up in getting contracts and being able to work with the government. And so that's another wonderful benefit of being able to go through, get your VA disability compensation, make sure you're getting those benefits and entitlements for you and your family, and then being able to see how you can optimize that and leverage it. So,
yeah, but let me mention one other important thing for anybody. The other reason to get your disability rating, two aspects. One is it also gives you priority within the VA system. Mm-hmm. Everybody who retires from the military is eligible for TRICARE as they retire. But if you've only served 4 years or 6 years and you have a VA disability, you can get treated for those service-connected conditions in a VA medical center cost-free. And if you have other medical things, at a relatively reasonable cost. The VA, sometimes there's a little bit of bureaucracy getting involved in it, but having used the Department of Veterans Affairs for some of my health care, it really is an effective system once you get in there. So I would encourage anybody who's a veteran who has service-connected medical issues to work with the VA and take advantage of their healthcare system. The other important reason to do that is if your condition worsens, you can go back. And I'll use the example of my left knee. It was, I smashed my tibia in a officer NCO football game. The VA gave me a rating on that. It's a 0% rating because I've actually run the Army 10 miler every year since I retired. Eventually this knee is going to go bad. And when it does go bad, I can go back to the VA and say, hey, I now have arthritis in the knee. I acknowledge that kind of that's the Army's fault. And so I might get that upgraded from a 0% rating to a 10% rating. Another reason to make sure to document everything as you transition, keep an eye on it, leverage VA medical care if it's appropriate for you, and make sure that you're maximizing your military benefits that you've earned through your service.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for providing such a comprehensive list. We went over a lot of information in a relatively short amount of time regarding VA disability ratings and the additional savings and benefits and entitlements that come along with that for not only the veteran, but also possibly for military spouses or children. And so I really want to thank you for bringing your knowledge, your expertise to this subject and to this audience today.
Well, happy to be here, Sarah, and I'm glad that people are able to tune in and get this information.
Me as well. And so that is going to wrap up our Armed Forces Mutual Live for today. I'm Sarah Roeder, and if you would like more information about Armed Forces Mutual and building your financial readiness as a member of the military community, I invite you to go to this QR code on the screen or to the link in the comment section, which is going to take you to a financial resource hub. And this financial resource page is going to have everything from budgeting workshops to the information that you heard here today from General Meese about resources to optimize your VA benefits and VA disability compensation. And so I invite you all to please check out that financial readiness page. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and thank you for joining.